Jonathan Vilma told our Ed Warder through a text message what he believes Brady should do. Take a look. "I tell Brady to fight the emotion of defending himself publicly, lawyer up, and begin to devise a game plan to beat the NFL through the court system." However, he adds that Brady will face a different challenge because Goodell led the investigation on Bountygate, unlike Deflategate led by Ted Wells. Vilma went on to say, "We based our argument off of Goodell being the face of the Bountygate witch hunt. He hasn't done that this time around. I don't know how he accuses Goodell of being too biased to the arbiter. I was able to prove he was biased and then let all the facts start coming out in a neutral setting." All right, so that's advice. We had Vilma on the show, actually, and he talked about it. So, Skip, do you agree with what he is actually telling Tom Brady to do?
Stephen A. Smith, as you recall, I was with Jonathan Vilma throughout the entire Bountygate controversy, and I am with him now. We've had Jonathan sit right here on this show. I've gotten to know him a little bit. This is a tough-minded, strong-minded, high-principled man who went to battle against Roger Goodell, as you recall, and Kerry just alluded to. He sued Roger Goodell. He won the right to a truly independent arbitrator, not some Harold Henderson from the league office. He got the ex-commissioner Paul Tagliabue to review the case of Bountygate, and Paul Tagliabue made Roger Goodell look foolish because he rescinded all of these suspensions, including Jonathan Vilma's. So Vilma sued, got an injunction, and got to play, and then won the battle against Roger Goodell. And he's exactly right now, Stephen A. Let your lawyers speak loudly for you, and if it comes to it, in court. As you know, I'm a Tom Brady fan, and I feel like right here, right now, Stephen A., I owe Mr. Brady an apology. I was with you from day one, the day after the Wells investigation was released, the report. I was with you in spirit because I wanted my guy Tom Brady to please stand up and speak out, and he wouldn't do it. We saw him at Salem State University. He was still mealy-mouthed. He was still, golly gee, we'll see. He was still shrugging it off. And you said, and I agreed with you, it's time to defend yourself, just as you, Stephen A. Smith, would have stood up and spoken loudly to defend yourself if you felt you had been wrongly accused. I would have stood up and defended myself in the same circumstance. But listen, I think Tom Brady might just have the last laugh here. He's doing it the right way. He's doing it the legal way. And I think his actions through court, through his legal team, will speak much louder than he could in public. Again, I wish just for the spirit of it. We're going to deal with this question later. Has his image been permanently tainted? We talked about it a little bit yesterday. Now we have a new ABC poll that indicates it probably has been. I'm with you on that, Stephen A. But again, who's going to have the last laugh here? Who's going to be vindicated in the end? I think Tom Brady is now going about it the right way, the way he does on the football field, which is to let your game speak for you, or in this case, let the facts that you know that you're going to exhibit in court speak loudest for you. So I am so with Jonathan Vilma. I'm glad he said what he said, and I apologize to Tom Brady. Again, I don't know whether he's innocent or not, but I want him to have his day in court, and apparently he is going to get it.
Time out. So you're saying Jonathan Vilma, what he said actually changed your perspective on how Brady should?
Just the whole last 3 days. And again, I don't want to beat this to death, but I've talked to several confidants close to Brady, and they say he is insisting he is 100% innocent and wrongly convicted here. Okay. And that has changed my perception, just to fall back and say, I'm still open-minded. Okay. Now, again, maybe I'm not objective, because you well know for years and years on this show I've been a Brady fan and Brady supporter, New England supporter, but I'm now open-minded to hearing what Tom Brady and company and legal team have to say in court. I'm not going to leap to the conclusion that he's a cheater just yet. Maybe in the end I will. Okay. But right now he deserves his day in court, and Jonathan Vilma is correct. He's going to get it.
All right, Stephen A. So Skip is saying that he's holding off on judgment. He likes what Jonathan Vilma had to say, and it changed his perspective as to how Tom Brady should go about it. Your take? Do you agree with Vilma?
No, I don't. I don't agree with Skip Bayless either. And let me say this. I mean, I don't understand why you're apologizing. What are you apologizing for? Just for keeping an open mind? I mean, I don't think the apology is necessary. Let's see how everything transpires and what the ultimate conclusion is before we dole out apologies. When I apologized to the New Orleans Saints and Jonathan Vilma and Drew Brees and everybody else, it was in the aftermath of Vilma going through the court system. It was in the aftermath of a verdict. It was in the aftermath of Paul Tagliabue making the decision that he made that made Roger Goodell look foolish. It was in the aftermath of all of that. Prior to that, you know, silly me, I was of the conclusion that the NFL, being a multi-billion-dollar establishment, would make sure that their investigators are top-notch and that they had dotted all their I's and crossed all their respective T's. And particularly as it pertained to Bountygate, that did not appear to be the case. But I think it's important in this particular sequence, Skip Bayless, to highlight the discrepancies, or rather the differences, between Bountygate and Deflategate.